Hello, this is Zishan Isaac with Zishan on air every Sunday, 6 p.m. and onward on the traditional radio platforms as well as with Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And we would like to dive right into our key topics. First of all, a lot of uncertainty and anxiety and even stress and fear that is happening according to the mayor of LA. And remember, LA County is the county, according to different sources and according to the government, the most number of undocumented people they live in the LA County, and many politicians, especially in California, they also termed it, and this term became really popular, sanctuary city. So as you can see on the screen, dozens detained during ICE raids on different clothing stores, even outside of Home Depot, where a lot of people they try to get work and daily wages when people hire them for contract labor, and those places were raided, and dozens were detained during ICE raids, and as you can see on the screen as well. And then some people even made pictures as they raided this apparel company and the clothing line in LA. Dozens when they were detained, then the protests also were happening. And as Lindsay Pena reported from this local news channel in LA, and then the mayor, Moss, who basically said that there's a lot of uncertainty and anxiety that is happening, but she needs to speak very clearly in terms of where she stands, and let's not politically spin this entire situation. A lot of protesters were talking about billionaires are the real enemy, not immigrants, and then some said stop the starvation, stop the deportation, and then this different types of protests when they occurred. Then at the same time, this lady, she also, Ms. Camacho, spoke about her partner who basically speak little English according to her, and she told the news reporter that her partner signed some papers, and she doesn't know what papers her partner signed, and there were immigration attorneys on loudspeakers also telling those who were arrested that don't sign any papers. The U.S. attorney also on X platform said federal agents were executing a lawful judicial warrant at LA worksite this morning when David Huerta deliberately obstructed their access by blocking their vehicle. He was arrested for interfering with federal officers and will face arraignment in federal court on Monday. Let me be clear, I don't care who you are. If you impede federal agents, you will be arrested and prosecuted. No one has the right to assault, obstruct, or interfere with federal authorities carrying out their duties or more. He said he was arrested for interference with federal officers and will face arraignment in federal courts on Monday. Who is this guy? He is the president of this organization, SEIU, and Ms. Diaz, Sandra Diaz, she's a vice president, and she also spoke to the local media and mentioned that he should be taken to the hospital as well. He has some medical issues, and then he should be released immediately. Now, the legal issues were also raised by Trump sending the National Guards to LA, and as you can see on the picture, they are burning vehicles, a lot of graffiti, and even painting and this paint and different types of graffiti, I would say, appeared in different areas. Donald Trump warns, quote, "We are going to have troops everywhere," unquote, after ICE protests. And then this was reported by the Express US, and NBC News also reported with regards to this other information about this whole situation as it's getting played out. The statement from the California governor, Newsom, the federal government is moving to take over the California National Guard and deploy 2,000 soldiers. That move is purposefully inflammatory and will only escalate tensions. This is the statement from California's Governor Newsom, as reported by MSNBC, and he went on to further state, quote, LA authorities are able to access law enforcement assistance at a moment's notice. We are in close coordination with the city and county, and there is currently no unmet need. The Guard has been admirably serving LA throughout recovery. This is the wrong mission and will erode public trust. And he was referring to the fire issue, those fires that basically break out, and then they're already stationed there as well. And now with regards to this new development with these ICE arrests. Now with immigration, with regards to this Harvard University issue and international students issue, and last year in 2024 basically became the first year when Indian students have surpassed Chinese international students. So the number one country that sends most international students is India. Second is now China. And for I would say years, it has been China. So they are in shock, as reported by The Guardian. Indian students fear Trump has ended their American dream. And then this discussion is also happening with regards to different families who actually put aside their entire savings, and they talk to different international students, counselors, these agencies actually who are based out of India, and they take money and then they try to help these families, because their dream is that once they send in their child and their daughter or son to America, then obviously they will have a better life back home as well, because then they'll be earning money here, they'll be studying and then earning here, and at the cost of the US jobs. That's where the Trump administration is being very hawkish, because the H-1B program has also been highly, I would say, subjected to criticism. And the reason for that is because many companies, they have exploited this program as well. So this is where there are different stories from this person, Patel, and he said that I'm an optimist and I'm still willing to find a way to send my son. That's basically what this Patel guy is talking about. I don't want my son to face the same struggles here in India, unquote. And that is the reality. The feud between Trump and Elon Musk has gone further. As you all know, I reported this last Sunday as well. This bromance has ended. And we knew it was a question of when, not a question of if, but it has happened. And Elon Musk put this on X platform. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This is what Elon Musk is saying, and has said this narrative, outrageous pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. That's basically, he was talking about the big, beautiful budget package. And then Elon Musk absolutely explodes on Trump's disgusting abomination of a spending bill, according to Mediaite. And as reported in MSN News, and then Mediaite, and then others, even Marjorie MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she is very hawkish and MAGA congresswoman, confesses, I agree with him, after Musk rips her and others for voting yes. One quote, big, beautiful bill, unquote. That's the bill that Trump called it. And as you can read it on this as well, Musk further said that this actually, which increases the budget deficit, not decreases it, and undermines the work of Doge team is doing. And he further said, quote, I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both, unquote. And Republican senators, including Rand Paul from Kentucky and Ron Johnson from Wisconsin, have come out strongly against the package, arguing it would explode the national debt. Now, is this it? Just because of this bill, or people are asking there's more to it? We will never find out. And here he actually shared some of this information from others, that this is not the stock shares or the shares of different companies as Nvidia or others. Elon Musk on social media platform, he has 200 million following on X, formerly Twitter. Quote, mammoth spending bills are bankrupting America, unquote. He wrote, sharing a graphic depiction rising national debt over the past 3 decades. Quote, enough, unquote. He also responded with an 100 emoji to an X user who wrote that Musk had, quote, reminded everyone it's not about right versus left, it's about establishment versus the people, unquote, signaling his agreement. So this is serious stuff between Elon Musk and Donald J. Trump, and he's the president, between the most powerful man on planet Earth versus the most richest person on planet Earth as we speak. And Elon Musk further wrote with some of the other, I would say, back and forth going on, the social media war or battle between Elon Musk and the President of the United States of America. And Elon Musk further said, keep the EV solar incentive cuts in the bill, even though no oil and gas subsidies are touched. Very unfair, he complained, but ditch the mountain of disgusting pork in the bill. In the entire history of civilization, there has never been legislation that both big and beautiful, that he wrote. And then he further said, time to drop the really big bomb, according to Elon Musk. And this is reported by the Wall Street Journal. And he, in fact, tagged @real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, comma, DJT, exclamation mark. So this is where Elon Musk is completely going after the president. The Wall Street Journal also reported, and this is on X platform, Elon Musk even asked this question, is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle, question mark, and yes or no. And obviously in these type of social media and very anecdotal type of surveys, a lot of people, in some cases, as it was reported, because this is developing news, 80% of the people at one point reported that yes, they are in favor of third party. But a lot of people have tried, and the only time the third party was popular was during Ross Perot time, the Texas billionaire, and he got 15% of the vote, as the most any third political party in modern history could get, and that is basically what we know as in terms of what happens to third parties. Now, interestingly, Mediaite also reported, and this news has not gotten much traction, but Karine Jean-Pierre announces she's leaving the Democratic Party in new book, promising look into, quote, broken White House, unquote. And if you all remember, she was the spokesperson of former President Biden. President Biden, as we always call our former presidents as well. But when Biden was president, she was the White House press secretary, and she wrote, quote, until January 20th, I was responsible for speaking on behalf of the President of the United States, said Jean-Pierre in a statement, quote, at noon on that day, I became a private citizen who, like all Americans and many of our allies around the world, had to contend with what has to come next for our country. I determined that the danger we face as a country requires freeing ourselves of boxes. We need to be willing to exercise the ability to think creatively and plan strategically, unquote. And she has come out with this book, and obviously the Democrats and supporters of President Biden will say that, oh, she's just doing her marketing campaign or launching her book, but she actually left the Democratic Party. I mean, that is the fact. And that's where the establishment of the Democratic Party need to think about how are you going to fight for the middle class Americans, and also connect with them. Otherwise, in 2026, in some races, yes, Democrats have a chance, but in some other races, may not. If you will continue to not change the old strategy or the strategy that did not work. The description of the book on Amazon reads as follows: in a country obsessed with blind loyalty to a two-party democratic system, Karine Jean-Pierre, former White House press secretary to the Biden-Harris administration, shares why Americans must step beyond party lines to embrace life as independents. Well, she is definitely making a point, because if you put yourself completely in the Republican Party's box, and if you put yourself completely in the Democratic Party box, and then if there is no debate within the party, and as a civilian or as just an American, then how are you going to objectively criticize your own congressmen or congresswomen or those who represent us objectively, and give them credit where credit is due, and then ask the tough questions? So she is definitely making a point. Trump Musk feud, this feud explodes with threats of cutting contracts, backing impeachment, and this is where someone reported and put it on X platform that time for impeachment, and then Elon Musk actually agreed with that. And then Donald J. Trump at real Donald Trump, with his handle on social media, said the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it! Exclamation. So this is how this whole feud between Donald Trump and Elon Musk has gone full circle. And even Donald Trump was asked if there is going to be any sign of any kind of conversation or over the telephone. He said that not for a little while, and he's focusing on other issues. And the White House really tried to reconcile these two people, and that didn't work, at least for now. Steve Bannon is another example who basically went through the same, but then Donald Trump did invite him back. Steve Bannon was also the advisor to Donald Trump in his 1.0 between 2016 and 2020 in his first presidency. The USCIS has actually posted this on X platform: green cards and visas will be revoked if an alien breaks the law. And then they put some fictitious, obviously, cases, but that's the message. And then this whole debate that is happening with regards to some users criticizing the misuse of the visas and the system, and then the H-1B program and all of that. And then the others also talked about politicians are accountable to voters. And then many people talked about the exodus has already started. F-1 visa holders are struggling to get H-1Bs, which is the temporary worker program. And then also people who are even H-1Bs are getting laid off. So this is what's happening, and reported by financialexpress.com. And more on this with regards to in terms of how the immigrant community should not have anything to worry about if they have not broken the laws. So Kilmer Abrego Garcia, if you all remember, this was this man who was not supposed to be, I would say, deported without due process of law. And even El Salvador's president, when he was here, he even said, I cannot do it. And now the U.S. administration actually is giving him due process, and he has been convicted by the grand jury. Wrongly deported Salvadoran man returned to U.S. charged, and he is charged right now, not convicted yet, but with human trafficking, and that's by the grand jury. And if he gets convicted, then he will basically face the rest of his sentence in that El Salvador, which the media has reported it's a very notorious prison. But this is where many people and lawyers were talking about that this should have happened first and then should have been deported. And then others said that, um, you know, we should give more due process to criminals. And this is where the debate, because if he's involved with the human trafficking and that is the charge by the grand jury, and if he gets convicted, then obviously he has no business in our country. And this is reported by ABC News, the Washington Post. With regards to 12 more countries, now Trump has signed proclamation to ban travel from 12 countries, and those 12 countries are listed here as well: Afghanistan, Iran, Myanmar, and Yemen, and then the list goes on. And then obviously you can Google it as well, and you can see on the screen that many of these countries had people legally were immigrating to the United States. So the issue is not legal immigration, but now obviously with this ban, it will be difficult, I would say, even with legal immigration. But many people came from these countries in the past several years, and those who helped the U.S. Army and then the CIA and the U.S. administration back in those days. So this is another key element to all of this. And then with regards to the news with the LA, as you can see on the picture, and then these are definitely not good scenes, and it's happening in our own country. And I hope calmer minds and people sit down and figure this thing out, because I will talk about this for at least 10 seconds, because we're all smart people here. Those children who were brought into this country without papers by their parents obviously are finding themselves at crossroads and finding themselves at a point where they were not asked. They were just children at that time. And it's very wrong for anyone to actually break the law, because it's very unfair to those who are standing in line illegally. And then if you jump ahead in the line, and that is also through illegal means, then you're putting not only your life at risk with regards to obviously getting deported, but also those who are your loved ones. And that is the debate. That's the crux of the matter. And I know it's more than 10 seconds on this. It's a difficult topic, but it's a simple topic too. Because if we are the nation of laws, and if we continue to break those laws and then create this problem and then use it to get votes from the same people as well, with their children and those who were born here, and then they call it anchor babies and what have you. And then when the law basically is applied to the loved ones, then sons, daughters, grandfathers, grandparents, parents, siblings, our friends, neighbors, and who would ask them, okay, what was your status, or what is your current status? But the US government and the ICE and USCIS, they know. And that's why they're going out to these different localities. And that is actually what happened in LA. And LA County, like I mentioned earlier, has the most number of undocumented workers or people. And they are working, yes, I get it. But at the same time, I'm just trying to paint the picture here, because these are complex issues. And no matter how you look at it, when the law would apply, that's when these folks will find themselves at the wrong end of the law. But the bottom line is the law will catch up to you. And this is what's happening. And then they may be married to US citizens. So that is another issue, because now families will be separated. But that doesn't mean that amnesty would be provided to everyone. And if in the past, when President Reagan has done that, then many people thought that, okay, yeah, we can just get into the United States and at some point someone will give us the amnesty. Well, not anymore. And that's why this administration has made it very clear. So now what is happening, with some scholars and nation's leading constitutional law scholars. They are saying, and Erwin Chemerinsky is one person, and I quote, said, quote, for the federal government to take over the California National Guard without the request of the governor to put down protests is truly chilling, unquote. He went on to say, it is using the military domestically to stop dissent, unquote. That's what he's saying. Dean of the UC Berkeley School of Law, it certainly sends a message to how this administration is going to respond to protests. It is very frightening to see this done, unquote. And Tom Harmon, the Trump administration's Balazar, announced the plan to send the National Guard in an interview Saturday on Fox News as protesters continued conforming immigration agents during raids, confronting immigration agents, because now they're confronting them. And those U.S. citizens who basically get in the middle of it, as the U.S. attorney said, they will get arrested, but obviously they cannot be treated wrong because they are U.S. citizens, so they will get better treatment. They should not get the same treatment, and that is another angle to it. But at the same time, they are stopping the agents to execute their duty. So this is another key aspect to it. And Tom Harmon, this Borders also said, quote, this is about enforcing the law, unquote. And he further said, quote, we are not going to apologize for doing it. We are stepping up, unquote. So buckle up. This summer is going to be hotter. And I would highly recommend everyone that please try to understand these complex issues. Don't get carried away. I know it's a tough one, especially for immigrant communities. But the message that, in my opinion, I can share with you is if you have not broken the law, you have nothing to worry about, and you should not be scared. And I will only quote some precedents of JFK, and others have also quoted. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself. And that's very important. And that's my message. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Please share. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe my YouTube channel, and also tell others as well, so you can get the best information. And at the same time, I would like to also talk about our key advertisers, Affordable Insurance of Texas, AITinsurance.com. That's their web address. And you can certainly contact them. Their number is 713-785-4000, 713-785-4000, and AITinsurance.com. That's the web address. And also for auto insurance, health insurance, commercial insurance, business insurance, and homeowners insurance. Also, Roopsari Palace, roopsari.com. That's their web address as well. And you can certainly, visit them in Houston, Greater Houston area, and they have different sections for men's and for women as well, and for formal wear and kurta, pajama, sherwanis, what have you. And then if you're looking for very traditional Pakistani boutique, bridals and more, you can certainly contact Zahida, and her number is 2817280669, 2817280669, and she's been in business since 2002, and they specialize in creating custom bridal and formal garments that embody elegance and tradition. It's a premier Pakistani boutique, bridals and more, and you can visit them on the web, bridalsandmore.com, bridals and as Nancy more.com. So with that, I'm signing off, and we'll continue with this on social media every Sunday. And then also, if you've not subscribed my YouTube channel, please subscribe. And again, the whole idea here is to share facts and news with objective reasoning and try to give both sides of the picture, and ensuring that all of you are smart, intelligent people. So please subscribe and share as well. And we need to get to the root causes of certain information and news, and some news is developing news. So I'll continue to update you with developments as they happen as well. So with that, signing off, and thank you for joining.